As you know, we only have 3 responses and 3 expected messages. But what if the user sends a message that is not inside this array of possible messages? It will create an error because we will get null here in the response. We will get nothing because there is no response. There is nothing that matches the message that the user sent us. So we need to check if the response contains elements or not. And before we do that, I'm going to show you the error. If here I type something, a message that isn't here, isn't one of these. Let's say, what's your name? If I send, I'm not going to get anything back. And if I use the inspect, you will find there is an error in the console. It's going to say here, cannot read property response of undefined, because this response now is undefined. There is no result. And the result is null here. We have the response of undefined at line 88, which is this. So the response is nothing. There is nothing inside the response. So we can simply here use if statement, if, and then we check the result. If the result dot length greater than 0, meaning that if this array contains elements, then it means that there is a result or results. And we can, at this point, we can call the response, get the response, store it in the response variable, and send use the chatbot send message to send the user a message. Otherwise, here let's just move this, and else here, else if the result.length isn't greater than 0, then at this point we can just display an error, or we can send a message that says to the user, what are you saying, or something like that, or what do you mean, something like that. We can say just what do you mean. So here I'm gonna copy this part and paste it, and the message that I'm gonna send to the user, if the chat bot doesn't find the response, the appropriate response to the message, it's going to say here, it's going to say, I don't understand. That's it. If I now, let's save and run. If I refresh and send a message that isn't here, that isn't one of these, let's say, what's your name? Your name. And if I send, after 1 second, I'm gonna get this message back from the chatbot, this response back from the chatbot, which is, I don't understand. Why? Because what's your name isn't inside the expected messages sent by me, by a user. And whatever text you type that isn't here, that isn't in the expected messages, isn't inside the array of possible messages, immediately the chatbot will say, I don't understand. Let's try something else. What do you mean? And send, and after 1 second I'm gonna get again, I don't understand, because what do you mean isn't inside the array of possible messages.